This programme exclusively. She believes Greater Manchester Police were institutionally racist in the way they handled the investigation into her daughter's death. Shukri Abdi drowned in a river in Bury in June. Do you believe they've treated you differently because they are institutionally racist?
She goes, yeah.
And what's your view as the family lawyer?
There's a family's firm position that they have only been treated in that way because of their race.
The independent police watchdog tell us they are now investigating the allegation that the force treated the case differently because of the family's ethnic background. Also, it's time to... Right, let's bring you the news, which we may interrupt if that news conference starts in Malaysia, but here is Joanna.
The mother of a 12-year-old girl who drowned has told this programme she believes institutional racism within the police means the family may never know how she died. Shukri Abdi drowned in the River Irwell in Bury in Greater Manchester on the 27th of June. The family claim officers failed to carry out a full investigation and treated them differently because of their ethnic background. The Independent Office for Police Conduct is investigating.
This 12-year-old girl who lost her life in June after drowning in a river in Greater Manchester have told this programme exclusively they believe institutional racism within the police force is why they're no closer to finding out what led to her death. I've been talking to Shukri Abdi's mother Zamzam Toure and her nephew Mustaf Omar, who helped to translate for Shukri's mum, who speaks little English. I also spoke to the family's lawyer Atiq Malik. Before we hear from them, here's a reminder of what we know about what happened to the 12-year-old. Shukri Abdi came to the UK 2.5 years ago with her mother and siblings. They were fleeing conflict in Somalia. Her mum reported her missing at the end of a hot day in late June. The 12-year-old was found unresponsive in the River Irwell in Bury. She'd drowned. Her parents say she couldn't swim and wouldn't have gone into the river. Greater Manchester Police investigated and called the case a tragic accident. But the family questioned how the police could have come to that conclusion so quickly. The police watchdog, the IOPC, is investigating Greater Manchester Police's handling of the case. The school Shukri Abdi went to is reviewing its anti-bullying policy. I want to ask you, Zamzam, first of all, as Shukri's mother, what the last few weeks have been like for you and your family.
حنون had difficult time.
She's been in a lot of pain and it's been a lot difficult for her.
And can you tell our audience about Shukri? What was she like?
Shukri waxay ahayd gabar yar, quiet, maskiinada, always iska happy ah. Oo hadana like sidii ciyaalkan u dhaqmanina qof fiican oo gabar fiican waxay ahayd aad u akhlaaq badan. Meel qof walbana u jecel yahay.
Shukri was a sweet young girl that, you know, she used to be a lot playful and a lot happy, but at the same time she was, you know, a bit grown over as well at age because she used to help out a lot with the mum.
Tell us about Shukri's time at school. What was that like for her?
School waxay ahayd gabar happy, waxay ka bilowday year 6 late ah, year 7, year 8 ay hadda ku jirtay, aad ay iskuulka u jecleyd, aad ay ugu faraxsanayd. waxay qof happy at time school time madarsa time guri on ilmo friend iyo saaxiibo friend way leedahay waa qof iskuulkeeda iyo saaxiibadeeda iyo asxaabteeda ku xiran.
Yeah, she was happy when she first started to go in school from year 6 and then year 7, and she was making a lot of friends, and you know she was just enjoying her time going to school and everything. Yeah.
But in the last year, I believe, you say that Shukri was bullied. And did you report it to the school? Do you believe the school knew what was going on with Shukri?
Yes, they definitely knew.
Because you reported it?
Many times, yeah.
Many times. In a statement released on the school's website following Shukri's death, Broadoak Sports College said it would be reviewing all policies and procedures at the school. In particular, they say we will focus on the school's anti-bullying policy and procedures and other policies relating to the welfare of children. So what is the family's view of the report that the school have done?
In summary, one word describes it: whitewash. The conclusion of the report essentially just said that they were not aware of any bullying. And it was quite concerning because from the outset, the family had been informed that Zamzam would be interviewed for this. And one needs to look at the full context of this. The family are a family of refugees. They've come to this country from a war zone, only been in this country for 3 years. And like it or not, there is a lack of education and communication issues there. And to fully and effectively investigate this, common sense tells you that you would need to interview the mother to see what were the contact points in the school, what was the nature of those contact points, who did they speak to. And the irony of it is this was actually a suggestion by the school themselves.
What are your concerns about the Greater Manchester Police investigation into Shukri's death?
From the beginning, when her daughter was missing for 30 minutes, she rang the police to report her daughter missing because it was totally out of character for her not to come home. And then after 10 hours, when they actually told her that her daughter was found in a river, you know, she knew that it wasn't, she said she knew that her daughter would not just go swimming. She knows her daughter, especially with fully clothed, and plus she had to go to madrasa after she had an exam in madrasa. So she knew her daughter wouldn't do that. She was normally, when her daughter, she comes home straight away from school, she'd been doing that every day.
So you, as the family, do not believe the police account, which is that Shukri drowned and it was a tragic accident?
But we don't know exactly what happened at the river, but we know Shukri very well, and we know that she would not, and we know her character is so out of character for Shukri to go near anything that scares her. Shukri's the kind of girl, like if she's scared of a dog, she's a dog, she'll cross the road, she'll be like, she's not the kind of girl like, she's not brave to try new things or do new things.
Atiq Malik, to say that the family doesn't believe the police account of what happened, with the explanation, as Mustafa's just said, because Shukri couldn't swim, she wouldn't get in the water in full dress.
And they said it's a hot day, but the Shukri's come from Africa, you know, how can it be hot for her to go in a river? She's come from Africa, it's like 30 degrees hotter there than it was that day. So they said, oh, it's a hot day, so we advise people not to go in a river.
It's a big thing for a family to say they simply don't believe the police account. What evidence do you have that it was anything other than a tragic accident?
The fact of the matter is this: when a family is going through a difficult point like this, they expect support and full and thorough investigation responses by all the authorities around them. And in this case, where something so serious has happened and the police have turned around and within hours published a press release saying that there is no suspicious circumstances, that alone caused alarm bells. And then following that, they have now changed their position and said, we are still investigating. And so if there was nothing more than a tragic accident, the question is, what are you investigating?
Do you believe that you have been treated differently by Greater Manchester Police because you are refugees?
Of course.
Why?
بس waxaan ahay refugee ma lihi xaq man oo ama awood aan ku hadlo waxaan ahay Afrikaan waxaan ahay waa inaan marna xaqayga helaynin oo inuu cadaalad waan sugayaa laakiin
She goes, well, she didn't believe it because especially with the communication and the way because she cannot get out everything she wanted to say.
Do you believe they've treated you differently because they are institutionally racist?
Huh.
She goes, yeah.
And what's your view as the family lawyer?
Across the country, there are often complaints from members of the BAME communities of the police not giving their concerns due weight. And in this situation, the family have seen how the police treat deaths. To turn around so quickly and do a public press release saying we do not believe there's anything wrong, there's a family's firm position that they have only been treated in that way because of their race, and that had it been a different racial background, they may not have been treated in that way, that more sensitivity probably would have been given, more thorough investigation would have been done. And so that is their complaint, and that is what the IOPC are now investigating.
Yeah. So if the family was white and British, the family feel they may have taken more care, paid more attention?
Precisely.
Could it be that, the family has suffered an incredible loss, you are grieving? It is natural sometimes in those circumstances to want to lash out, to want to blame, to find some individual institution to blame. Is that a possibility?
When families look for justice, the question is often asked is, what is justice? And this situation, justice isn't, let's find somebody to blame. This is not what this is about. This is about the search for the truth. Even if the truth is the same outcome that the police have found, that's fine. But treat us with respect, investigate the matter fully and properly.
The Independent Office of Police Conduct, in a statement to our programme, who are now investigating Greater Manchester Police over the way they investigated Shukri's death, has said that as part of their investigation they will look at whether officers treated the family, quote, less favourably because of their ethnic background. What do you make of that?
So the IOPC are going to be looking into the way that the police have handled this investigation from the outset, not just at the point of them making the announcement prematurely, but the IOPC are also monitoring their current investigation and the way they have also been interacting with the family. Because racism takes many forms. And it's not just about, for example, in this case, not giving due weight to certain concerns, but sometimes just a manner of speech. Often, we have complaints from people in establishment maybe speaking down to somebody. But sometimes the language used to somebody from a certain ethnic background, that in itself can trigger complaints. And so the IOPC are going to be looking at this holistically in terms of procedure, practice, engagement, at the outset and continuing on during the current investigation.
Right. What do you, as the family's lawyer, want to happen next?
We want the truth. We want the full investigation done, every single possible avenue explored by the police so that the family can be satisfied that nothing more could be done. And proper weight and consideration given to all of their concerns and not just swept under the carpet.
Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you for coming on the programme.
Thank you.